Hi, everyone. Welcome to Wednesday's edition of your stretch break, your daily stretch break with the Exos team. Goal for today that I have for everyone is just doing a lot of global stretches. So really getting a whole lot of things all at one time, being very efficient with our time. So maybe fewer movements, but movements that do more things. That being said, if you do have a request for an area that needs help or stretching or that's not feeling great today, please be sure to drop it into the chat and we will get to it. I'll give everybody a second or so to get that in. Everything, I agree. That's why we're doing global movements today. Gotta get everything moving. All right, if there are no other requests, we'll go ahead and get started. We're gonna get started in standing. So if you're down on the ground, go ahead and get up. Make your way to the center of your mat. So we are gonna start with a little bit of a couple yoga type things today. So if you speak yoga, great. If you don't, no worries there. It's just a place to get started. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start with Warrior Two. So if you're not familiar with that, or if you are familiar with that, go ahead and move into it. If you're not familiar with that, what that means is that our left foot is going to be pointing straight ahead, and then we're going to point our right toes so that they're parallel with our mat, if you have a mat. Arms are going to come out to the side, and then from here, we're going to bend that right knee, and you might need to bring your feet forward so that your knees aren't super far over your toes. And we're going to be nice and tall through the torso, squeeze your abs, squeeze your butt. Arms are out to the side and we're gazing over our front fingertips. So there should be lots of stretch in our inner thighs. You might feel your glutes working, a little bit of everything here. And let's go ahead and come out of that stretch. It's a little bit of quads as well. And then we're going to go right into it again on this side. So bending that front knee. Once again, you might need to move that front foot forward or back. We want that ankle pretty much under the knee, nice and tall through the torso. Shoulders are relaxed, down and away from the ears. Find your abs. And let's go ahead and come out of it. Okay, we're going to go right into our next stretch from here. So feet stay the same. We're going to move into triangle. So keep those legs straight. We're going to reach out like somebody's pulling on our right arm. And then from here, we're just going to drop down to wherever we're at. So maybe you rest your hand on your shin, your ankle, the foot. You can even put your hand on the floor if that's available to you. And then if your neck is happy with it, let's turn the gaze and look up towards the ceiling. So we're stretching a little bit of everything. We're stretching our low back, our inner thighs. We're opening the chest up. If you want more of a chest opener, you can bring that top arm behind you and tuck your left hand into the crook of your right hip. So a lot going on here. You can make it as intense as you want or not. Nice, make sure you're breathing nice and tall through the torso. And if your arm is behind you, go ahead and release it back up to the ceiling and make your way out of the stretch. Nicely done. Okay, go ahead and bring the arms down, shake it out. Let's switch our feet. So this time, right foot is facing forward. Left toes are pointing towards the end of the mat. We're gonna go into Warrior Two once again. So left knee bends, hips are pointing straight ahead. So if your hips are facing towards the camera, make sure they're facing towards the camera. Arms are out to the side, gaze is over the front fingertips. Make sure that left knee isn't falling in. We want that knee in line with the second and third toes. This one's all about posture and alignment. And let's go ahead and straighten that left leg, come out of the stretch for just a second, and then we're going to go right back into it again. So hips are still facing forward, squeeze those glutes, pull your abs in, find that stretch in your right inner thigh, if you're doing the same side as me, and make sure the outside edge of that right foot is on the ground. Don't let it come up. And let's make our way out of it. Nicely done. And we're going to go in a triangle on this side. So hips come back, reach out as far as you can, and then we're going to drop it down. Arm reaches up toward the ceiling. Hand, left hand, bottom hand, can relax on your leg or the floor, wherever's most available. If your neck is comfortable with it, look up towards the ceiling. Arm can reach up, or you can drop it behind you for more of a chest opener and tuck your right hand in that little crook of your left hip. Find your breath, find your abs, and resist the temptation to go too deep into the stretch. It's a common thing with yoga. We often push ourselves a little too much because it feels good. So just stay comfortably within your limits for this one. And when you're ready, if your arm's behind you, go ahead and bring it up toward the ceiling once again. And come out of that triangle pose. Nicely done. Go ahead and release the arms. Bring the toes together. And let's take a couple shoulder circles because it feels good. So why not? That's why we're here, right? Is to feel good. And go ahead and release. Okay, we're going to come to the back corner of our mats, if you have a mat. If you have room, I don't have much room, so I'm going to make this as space efficient as possible. We're going to do the inchworm, so little abs, little stretch. Go ahead and watch me if you're not familiar with this one. So let the knees bend as much as you need to so you can put your hands on the ground. Don't need to keep your legs straight for this one. From here, we're going to walk the hands out until we're in the top of a push-up position. And we're not going to hold it here. We're going to bring the hips up and we're going to walk the hands back towards our feet, trying to keep the legs as straight as you can. And then once you can't keep the legs straight anymore, go ahead and walk your hands all the way back, let the knees bend, and we're going to roll up one vertebra at a time, not too slow for this one. And once you're at the top, we roll the shoulders back. Let's do 2 more of those. Go ahead and go at your own pace. Knees can bend as much as you need to get your hands down to the ground. And then we're going to walk the hands out. Find that top of a plank, top of a push-up. And then bring the hips up. Try and touch the heels to the ground. Nice stretch for the backside of our body. And walk the hands back. Keep those legs straight until you can't anymore. Then go ahead and let them bend as we roll up one vertebra at a time so we don't get lightheaded. Nice. And one more, so we're doing 3 total. Looks like we're all about the same pace. When you are in that top of a push-up, find your abs. Squeeze your booty, squeeze your abs, make sure they're there and they're working before you walk your hands back towards your feet. Good, nicely done. And on this last one, roll up as slow as you can, nice and slow, 1 vertebra at a time. Head, neck, and shoulders are going to be the last thing to roll up. Good stuff. All right, last one of the day. We got time for 1 more. Take the feet nice and wide. We're going to reach our arms up and overhead. Grab your left wrist with your right hand. Arms, biceps are by your ears. Reach up as high as you can. Keep your weight in your left foot as you bend to the right. Go ahead and let that left hip come out. Breathe, stretching out the entire side body. And let's come back to center. Switch your grip. Grab the right wrist with the left hand, biceps by your ears. Reach toward the ceiling. Keep your weight in your right foot, bend to the left. Let that right hip come out to the side. We're getting the whole side body, all the way from our shoulders down to our hips. And let's come back to center and let the arms go. And we're just going to twist it from one side to the other a couple times, just because we don't twist too much during the day. Let those feet come off the ground, pivot on your big toes. Arms are just going for the ride. You might get some popping through your spine, but should feel good, nothing painful. Nice, and let's get one more on each side. And we're back to center. All right, everyone, that's all we have time for, short and sweet today. Wanted that to be really energizing because it is a beautiful day, at least here in San Francisco, and we can't say that too often, right? So we got to enjoy it when it is this way. Updates, if you are a manager and you want to book a stretch break or a group exercise class for our team, we do have forms where you can request that now, because that has been something a lot of people have been asking for. Those are on our SharePoint site. Design to Run, virtual race is still happening, Strava challenge is still happening, lots of exciting stuff coming up. So we have stretch break tomorrow at 11 and 2:30 with Luis. And then we have exercise with Exos at noon. And we have dance with John at 12:30. So lots of fun stuff this week. Thanks for stopping by. See you all again very soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Brittany.
Thank you, Brittany.
Thanks.